The doctors, they kind of lean towards a feeding tube and a ventilator. They don't say you have to, but they kind of lean you towards that. And we had made that decision long before that we weren't going to do that.
My decision-making process really was, it wasn't even a decision. It was what was going to happen. Because I worked in the special needs classroom, I had seen children with, that were not eating, that were tube fed, that were in wheelchairs, they were highly medicalized children, and I just knew that I didn't want my son to be like that, because these children struggled just to breathe, and I just couldn't see our son doing that. I mean, he struggled every day of his life, but not on his own, not with equipment. So it wasn't a decision that I made, it was just the way it was. I don't even think we even talked about it.
Once.
Did we?
We talked about it the last day
Well,
for about 30 seconds.
yeah.
The last day.
Yeah. Yeah.
For about 30 seconds.
Why did it come up on the last day?
Well, because it came up the last day because we had the choice to make, and we listened to the doctors tell us about the surgery to get him on the ventilator and the feeding tube, and we had, for a split second, we thought, well, we'll listen to it and maybe we'll do it. And then it was just not an option. I was afraid we were going to lose him on the operating table, so I just couldn't do it. And it sounds weird, but Michael, Brian was out of the room, and Michael mouthed the words, "Help me," and I knew that he wanted to just be, that those were there was a nurse with me too, and when he said "help me," and it wasn't because he was in pain, he was just done, he was tired, so that was it.
No, we also believe that a feeding tube and a ventilator wasn't a decision for him. It would have only benefited us. So I don't want to say a selfish decision, but I think that decision would have been for us, not for him.
Yeah, so tell me a little more about that. I remember on the phone, Janet, you talked about how Michael loved food, so.
Michael loved to eat food, and he loved to talk, and he loved to sing, and I just could not imagine him being stopped and not being able to sing and not being able to eat and being in our house and not doing those things. So it wasn't for us. We pictured him in our dining room, which wouldn't be the place that he might have been in, and what kind of life for him we thought would that be, for him to be in a bed in our dining room instead of being free.
It was harder to tell our parents than it was to make that decision.
Yeah.
Telling them was much worse.
Yeah.
Telling them that we were going to let him go.
That day, yeah.